guys, Alec Peirce at the ranch. Got my garden hose, gonna water Diana's vegetable garden. Yeah. So what do you do when you water the vegetable garden? You get the hose, you put a sprinkler on it, you water, or you hook up one of those things like that and so on. That's what most people do. And we've done that. We've done that too. But if you've been watching my videos at all, you know that I'm big on doing nothing. No, that's not true. I actually work sun up to sundown. But I'm big on doing things the easiest possible way. Okay, so if you're going to water your vegetable garden, the first thing you do is you get the hose out, right? So you pull the hose out. I got the hose. Now what do? That's where this tip might just be valuable to you. Okay, so what I did, with Diana's help, I should add, what I did was I made up a automatic watering system for her vegetable garden. I make it sound like it's a big deal. It isn't really a big deal. You see, we had a whole bunch of soaker hoses. I don't know if you all know what a soaker hose is, but there are two types of soaker hoses. One is a regular rubber hose with a bunch of holes in it. You can get them cheap because they have holes in them. No, they're actually expensive. A flat hose has a bunch of holes on one side. It rolls out flat, and when you put the water to it, the water pressure, the water sprays up in the air like that little fine mist. No, I'm talking a fire hose. A little fine mist of water for the whole length of the hose. Water sprays up and comes back down, and that's a soaker hose of a sort. The other kind of soaker hose is even better. The other type of soaker hose is fabric hose. Now, it does have a rubber liner in it. But the rubber liner is full of holes, and the outside edge of the hose, this long fabric thing, it fills up with water, and the water doesn't spray out, it just seeps out through the canvas covering. All right? So you put the hose out, and the water seeps out the full length, and it slowly runs out around it, and waters the garden. Now, what's the beauty of that? Well, we found out the hard way that sprinklers, you know, lawn sprinklers or garden sprinklers, you know, the sweepers, they spray the way, beautiful, pretty pretty, right? Or even the ones that spit. We have a few of those too, right? They're really, really neat to watch and everything else. But about 30% of the water never hits the ground. That's right. Number one, you water your garden or your lawn when it's dry, including the air. You don't water it the day before it's raining. So you water it on dry days when the humidity is very, very low. You spray a fine stream of water up into the air, and about 30% of that water never hits the ground. Unless where you are, you get water for free, and nobody gets it for free. Even if you're stealing it from the river or a pond or someplace like that, and I don't mean stealing, but you're taking it from a river or a pond. I mean, it's not free, because you still have to have a pump and hoses and gasoline or diesel fuel, maintenance, so nothing is free. So you spray it and 30% never even lands where you want it to land. These soaker hoses, it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes right onto the ground. So they're fantastic that way. So anyway, so we use these soaker hoses, and I just spread them back and forth across her garden, roughly in the areas, the rows where she would be planting her vegetables, you see. And it worked pretty well. The problem was, when I first built this, I had them all coming into one spot. And I had a bunch of Y connectors hooked up to the garden hose, and it just wasn't working well because at this end of the garden, where all those hoses started out, it got soaked. The far end of the garden didn't get nearly as much water. So finally what I did was I built a header. Now it's a big word. All it means is it's just a piece of pipe with a bunch of outlets to put the hoses onto. And you can do this a variety of ways. You can do it in plastic or whatever. I'm old school, so I use copper pipe. Ordinary 1/2-inch copper pipe, about 10 feet of it. I got at the hardware store, not expensive. I got some T's, and I got a couple of elbows, and I got the proper connection, and I ended up with a header. So now the header stretches right along one end of the garden, and there are 6 hose outlets. So now I just put the soaker hose on the outlet, stretch it out all the way, 6 of them, and right smack in the middle right here. I don't know if you can see this, Kevin. Right here, I even put a quick disconnect right here. You see? So now all I do, I get the hose from the reel, and I just snap that on like so, turn on the top, set it down. Oh, got a little leak right there, no problem. But these hoses, they fill up. You can see them turning, dark, and they fill up and they slowly soak the entire garden. It's just that simple. I'll come back in half an hour. The entire garden will be carefully, quietly, but completely soaked with water. Nothing spraying up in the air, no waste, no mess, no fuss. And when I'm finished, I disconnect, pull the hose in, and go back to my coffee. It's just that simple. I don't know if this is a big deal to you, or maybe it's not even something new, but if you have a garden and you find it's a nuisance to drag the hose out and sprinkling and all that kind of stuff, maybe this is a good project for a couple hours one day. And we've had this now for 3 years. I think it sits out here summer and winter. I don't think Diana even takes it in. We probably drain it, but it's pretty tough. It lasts a long time too. Hopefully that'll be helpful to you. Talk to you soon. I got some more tips coming. Alec, Peirce at the Ranch.